Road for the celebration of the 8th anniversary of a wonderful moment in the chronology of African people on this planet, and it's the 8th anniversary of the time when 34 Africans were recognized for their rights to citizenship in this land. And for that matter, we are all gathered here to celebrate, because this would have not been possible without the inputs and the hard work and commitment of Dr. Maulana. But before we start, would like to listen to a little African music. These are all African instruments, and this is the Ha Manye. Ha Manye.
Ha Manye.
Ha Manye.
Yeah.
And Ha Manye means give blessings. Give blessings. Give good tidings. So we'll start with them as we await for our special guests. This is the Ha Manye Band. thank you. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Ha-manye, ha-manye, ha-manye. Let's give blessings. Thank you very much. Once again, welcome to Paloma Hotel on the Ring Road as we celebrate the 8th anniversary of a wonderful moment in Black African history where we had 34 of our brothers and sisters gain their rightful citizenship. That was long overdue, and that was the beginning of a great event, and which process we are still seeing through. At this moment, I'd like to... I understand that Reverend is not in the house yet, so I'll be a Reverend for now and I'll do the opening prayer. So if we could kindly be on our feet and let's give thanks to the Most High. Mother, Father of creation, we thank you for this wonderful day, for the blessing of bringing us together, for realizing prophecy, for bringing our brothers and sisters back into union, for bringing our brothers and sisters back onto the motherland, for fulfilling what was never seen. We thank you for the opportunity to live in these times, these very interesting times. We pray that you grant us strength and wisdom and good health to be able to achieve the noble objectives of our ancestors who never saw these days. In the name of our spiritual guides, our guardian angels, all the prophets and the truth, we pray with thanksgiving and in full faith. Amen Ra. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kweku Andobafo, and I'll be your master of ceremony for this very auspicious occasion. Indeed, I'm very happy to be here. This is the most special occasion. This is not the biggest auditorium, but this is going all around the globe, because it is from this Black Star Nation right here in Accra that history has been made all over the globe. And I think those of you who have already received your citizenship know exactly what I'm talking about. But this is to increase the knowledge and the education around the world of what has really happened in Ghana here. That this didn't come as a gift that fell out of the sky, that this was the continuous application of commitment and love and passion and endurance, and we've now arrived at a place where the government of Ghana can recognize the right for our brothers and sisters who were taken away from these lands, their ancestors, in the most violent and brutal way, and can come back home in peace and harmony and to enjoy the unity and reintroduce themselves into the culture from where they were originally from. So please, let's give ourselves a round of applause for marking this most auspicious occasion here at the center of the earth in Accra, the Black Star Nation of Ghana. We're here to celebrate this event, but as I started saying before his arrival, Dr. Maulana, who's seated right here by my side, has been very instrumental in getting us to this place. People speak about the beyond the return, they speak of the right of citizenship. I remember in 2002 when I was in Accra watching TV and I saw this gentleman speaking on TV Africa. He used to come every, I think it was Saturday, every single weekend, educating people about the African American experience, the African American journey. Because you see, it's very easy to imagine that Africa America is Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan, that Africa America is Bill Cosby, and Africa America is the Nikes, and so on and so forth. But the experience of our brothers and sisters, what they went through, and the implications on our future have very much to do with us understanding the experience. So it was the experience that he brought back, the education that he imparted, and all the lobbying, all the networking that has resulted finally in the government of Ghana realizing that they owe it to their brothers and sisters, our lost family abroad, a right to come and reclaim their citizenship. So it didn't fall from the sky, and it is worthy that we recognize those who've played a very committed role in progressing it, because if you'll agree, for our brothers and sisters to come back here and receive citizenship, that is a great progress. Or am I lying? Don't you think that is a huge progress, that people left this continent in the greatest misery and are able to claim and reclaim their greatest dignity? And so we must support such just causes, and today is a celebration because indeed His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, whose image you see in the poster, was the president who gave this inaugural recognition to the black family abroad, and it has progressed into what you see now with Beyond the Return, but it all started from very hard work and lobbying. It wasn't only him, there were members of the diaspora, Nana Akofu Ababio and his wife Mama Amakos, and other elders in the community, some of whom are seated here. Mama Erna, I can't remember all their names, you know, all the sisters, all the elders that have contributed to this. We recognize that we may not remember everyone's name is done, even though we sometimes and more complex role at other times. So it is my very, very great pleasure to introduce Mr. Frank Owusu Asiama, who is going to introduce the dignitaries at this point. Frank. Please let's give a round of applause for Frank. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Respect to the high table and all protocol observed. I'm here to introduce some of the dignitaries who are here with us today for this special occasion. On my list, I have the President-elect for the Triple AG. If you are here, give us a wave.
She's running late.
Okay, all right, okay. We also have representatives from United Sisters Support. United Sisters Support. If you are here, okay. We have Madam Dorcas Abba Simpson, Executive Director for Sudan Land Bank. We also have Dr. Benjamin Anyagri Azigete, CEO of Afro-Continental Union Consult. We also have Honorable Moruni Hinda Imbwambi, Deputy Minister of Finance and former Director for Pan-African Center of Namibia. We also have Mr. Richard, a Chief Director for Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. And finally, we also have, of course, Dr. Molana, CEO of Ministry of the Future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. At this point, we'll listen to Yenara Assassini, and this is an old time folk music from Ghana, and it's about This Is Our Land. Yenara Assassini.
Yenara Assassini, hey ya boy.
And like I said, he is at the core of this whole momentum of the recognition of the right to citizenship. In fact, on YouTube, there's videos of him actually speaking prophecy now, whether you like it or not. In 2016, it was this man who said that in the next few years, there will be millions and millions of dollars coming home, and our people will start coming home in droves. And indeed, in 2017, 18, 2019, this was the reality. 2020, and now we have Beyond the Return. And so, please, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the CEO of the Ministry of the Future, the one and only Dr. Maulana.
Thank you very much, Brother Ando. What I would like to do before I get into my presentation, I want to flash on the screen the walk down memory lane, to go back to 2016. And in the purpose of doing that, I want everyone in here to know we've just come out of 8 years of a political dispensation, and we're moving now to cross over to a new political dispensation. And the man that's at the helm, use common sense. Common sense will tell you that. He's not after no friendship. He's after the minerals and resources. And he does not need the Africa now. He has a plan to remove the
material. But I call it good to be here today for the swearing in and confirming evil acts that are perpetrated by humans on other humans. Nothing in the history of mankind beats the evilness of the slave trade. We all are reminded when we see the symbols of the dotted along the coast of Africa, and especially along the coast of Ghana. Ghana has the most slave forts than any other country in Africa. And so it means that Ghana was an important exit route for most of our brothers and sisters who ended up in the diaspora as slaves. When you stand at the Cape Coast Castle or the Mina Castle, and you stand in that archway that we call the door of no return, and you walk through the dungeons of these forts and castles, no sense of human imagination can capture the reality of the horror that took place in these forts and castles. Families separated from each other forever. The Atlantic Ocean was a huge chasm that divided the African continent from the New World, the so-called New World. And indeed, once you walk through that wall, there was no possibility of return at the time. Indeed, as a young man growing up, aside from visiting the castles, the first real impact and understanding the reality of the slave trade, apart from reading it in my history books in school, was the work, beautiful work done by Alex Haley, Roots, which we watched in several parts when I was a young undergraduate student in the University of Ghana. The story of Ntakinte impacted and had such an effect on us and made us truly understand the horror of what had taken place against our ancestors and forebears. And one thing has always struck me about the common design of those slave forts and castles, and that is that both in the Osu Castle, which we have vacated currently, and moved the seat of government to the Flagstaff House. And also in the Cape Coast Castle, we find that the chapel, where praise is given to God and where humanity should be in supplication with its Creator, is built over the dungeon where unspeakable horrors were taking place. And so even as the priest or whoever was administering the sermon, he couldn't fail to remember that there were people underneath his feet suffering utter humiliation and suffering. Today, we are here to turn that door of no return into a door of return. Excellency, the ambassador gave me the visitor's book of the Diaspora Embassy to fill when I arrived here on the grounds of the Boys Center. And I said I have the honor and privilege to restore to you your full rights as Ghanaian and African citizens. Let me say, in doing this, I deserve no thanks or praise, because I'm giving back to you what rightfully belonged to you. And in doing this, I'm just following in the footsteps of our fathers, Dr. Nkrumah, Paloma, Marcus Garvey, Du Bois, Martin Luther King, and all of them. We're just following in their footsteps. Ghana was the first sub-Saharan African country to break free from colonial domination. And since then, it had been the beacon of the liberation struggle. We believed, as President Nkrumah said, that the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it's linked with the total liberation of the African continent. And so, Ghana became the headquarters of the liberation struggle. And I felt proud as the president of Ghana when I've gone to other countries and had the presidents walk up to me and tell of how they lived in Ghana, and they remember Osu, and they remember some of the nightclubs they used to go to here. And they proudly tell me that I still have my Ghanaian passport that Dr. Nkrumah gave to me. And so Ghana has continued to be that beacon that promotes Pan-Africanism. And so, in signing these instruments of citizenship, I'm just following in the footsteps of what the founder of our nation began, Dr. Nkrumah. In July this year, we passed another historic legislation that gives all Africans, all persons carrying passports of African countries, the right to apply for visas on arrival. And that has facilitated travel of Africans into Ghana. I believe that this privilege can be extended to the diaspora to allow all persons, of the diaspora, Africans, to be able to visit not only Ghana, but all other African countries without the necessity of having to travel to embassies abroad to apply for visas. I do believe that this is a win-win. Our brothers and sisters who live in the diaspora have acquired skills that are useful to the motherland. And so by allowing you to come and go freely, and even to reside, you bring back those skills to the motherland and help us to develop our continent. And so let me congratulate those of you who are receiving citizenship today. I believe you're not going to be the last. this should be the first. And I'd just like to say that the minister read the act, which has some very inimical and unpleasant things in there, but it will never come to that. It's your right, you're Ghanaians, you're going to live here, you're going to live as brothers and sisters, and you're going to be here as everybody. And so, on behalf of the government and your brothers and sisters, Ghanaians, I wish to warmly welcome you back home and to say that, as we say in the Akan language, Akwaba. Akwaba back to your homeland, and it is my hope that this citizenship that has been restored to you will be one that will be beneficial to you coming home and those of us here. I believe that you bring back some of the benefits of learning, of science, and so many things back home. And I believe and hope that it will be of benefit to your brothers and sisters you left back home. Thank you very much, and God richly bless all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, brothers, you heard this president, and he is the one on the 7th of January coming, will be taking over the Republic of Ghana. The man understands that you're coming home, but you're coming home from where your deep roots were, going back probably hundreds of thousands of years ago. This little Sir John in America, a captivity for 400 years, is a dent. We are people who exceed on this planet Earth hundreds of thousands of years. And I'm not just using that loosely. Watch the moves of the people. And I want to say, I'm not saying that everything is rosy. We got fast-talking Eddies over here, just as criminal here as you got in New York City, LA, and Chicago. We got them on both sides. So you don't put your guard down. No. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot on the program, and I'm not going to take up too much time, but I want to say this so that it will be embedded in all of your minds, especially Africans of the diaspora and continental Africans as well. The return at this particular time of the children who have been in captivity for over 400 years. It is not happenstance, and it's not by accident. Now, I'm not here to preach the Bible, but a lot of things in the Bible are real. But you got to look at the science unfolding. We are coming back. We didn't come back to go to Nigeria. Many of our people came from Nigeria. We didn't come and go back to Tanzania. We didn't come and go back to Togo. We came and come back to Ghana. Why Ghana? Ghana is in the center of the earth. Ghana is in the center of the earth. And this is the new Jerusalem. The ethnic groups in this country came from ancient Israel. They migrated down in this area over 2,500 years ago, if you don't know that. So I'm saying that to say to Africans of the diaspora, let's put this in the forefront of your mind, that our coming back first is spiritual.
Yes.
This is a spiritual movement. Then it is movement. And we have been ordained by the Creator that we must return. And we must return without any hindrance. We must return without any fear or favor. This is our time. Our time has come. and what is about to take place in America. I don't have to waste oxygen right now to tell you. If you got eyes and can see and ears can hear, what is about to take place in America should tell you, you better be looking east to your motherland. Because when it goes off, you won't be able to get on the telephone and say, it's Delta Airlines leaving tomorrow evening. Can I get a... No. You have to already be in motion. So this is a spiritual movement. Let me call up our sister Shannon. Are you in the house? Please come up. Please come up, sister. This is the president-elect of the African American. Sister Shannon, you can take my seat, please. All right. We will let you make submission. To rebuild Africa, to kick out all of this rubbish that has come from Europe and Asia. Africa was there in the beginning. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Africa, yes, I'm telling you. So let's get serious. So ladies and gentlemen, I think right now I'll bring my submission program. So you know this is serious. So thank you very much, madam. And thank you, my brother, for arranging that. So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I will be speaking later, but I think my message hopefully has been clear that we're not coming here on a vacation. We got work to do. We didn't come here to lay down, to build big walls around our mansion and say, oh, how sweet it is. I mean, it's good to have that. Get you a servant, get you a chauffeur, which in America we can't afford that. You can do that here. But we got work to do. While you got that thing they call a king in England, is his name Charlie or what? Charles? Looking down to say how we want to get back. You got Macron to say of France, oh, we made a mistake. They're planning to come and recolonize Africa. But the diaspora is going to get in between them and Africa. We ain't going to allow it. I'm telling you. We know who you are. You don't hoodwink us. You don't bamboozle us. He's a liar. So any event to take place, we are a part of it. But see, you got to learn the protocol. And I would like to put in a couple of brownie points here. If you don't know the protocol, you contact Ministry of the Future to get the citizenship for Africans of the diaspora. We went and got first 34.
Deputy Minister of Finance. She has served her nation as a national legislator in the National Assembly. She's also served under the Ministry of Home Affairs and Immigration. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Her Excellency, Madame Maureen Hinda Madueke. Madame Hinda Buende. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
What a great honor as a Namibian to share in this 8th anniversary of the right and initiative to express a few words in solidarity from Namibia to the coastal line of the West Coast. Ghana is a great country indeed. Not only as the land of the greatest Pan-Africanist, Dr. Kamankrumah, but as a country to restore what it has stolen from us, our wealth entity, In summary, the anniversary of the Year of Return is important because it incorporates a complex intersection of history, culture, economics, and identity of people of African descent. It offers a moment of reflection on the pain of the past, while also celebrating the strength, resilience, and ongoing contribution of the African diaspora. It is an ongoing call for unity, healing, and collective action to a better, more just future. That be as it may, it is noteworthy to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for the Republic of Ghana, extending the initiative through the Beyond the Return campaign, foster a long-term economic, cultural, and educational exchange between African diaspora and Ghana with a focus on investment, tourism, and development, while we emphasize the need for it to be extended to the rest of Africa. The Year of Return initiative provides an unprecedented opportunity to the African diaspora to reconnect to their roots, reclaim the inheritance, and restore our dignity, both individually and collectively, as we rewrite our African narrative. It invites individuals to reflect on our shared history, to rediscover the cultural wealth that was disrupted by centuries of displacement and colonialization, and renew the sense of pride in the riches of the African heritage. This moment of reflection does not only foster a deeper connection to the African continent, but also inspires unity and solidarity of African descent the world over. By revisiting their ancestral homelands, this visit Namibia too, the diaspora is empowered to reshape our destiny, forging stronger bonds that transcends borders and create pathways for future generations to thrive, both in Africa and across the globe. Dignity is the cornerstone, upon land, but the return to self-discovery, the rich cultural heritage, the stories of resilience, and the enduring strength that defines us. In this powerful act of reconnection, we embrace the dignity that comes from understanding our history and the deep roots that tie us to the African continent. As we honor our past, we are called upon to shape our collective destiny, fostering unity, empowerment, and opportunity for ourselves and our unborn children, the generation of the future. The evil of slavery took root, not only abroad, but here on the continent too. Colonialism skewed Africa's economy and robbed people of their capacity to shape the tens and thousands of the heroes. And Nama people were brutally massacred by German colonial forces at the turn of the 20th century. Alongside, I'm also sharing this to let you know that I understand the outcoming of the female, Dr. Natupanandi Ndetwa. Allow me to say this in one more time in closing. Ministry of the Future and the new dispensation, one crucial aspect of our reflection of the Year of Return is the need for reparations and economic restitution for the victims of this historical injustice. It is attainable Namibia has set the trend. Well, much needs to be done about the moral and emotional policy of engagement with the diaspora, which outlines the strategies to promote the diasporian sense of belonging to the African continent, and the Ghanaian community in particular, as well as the rich cultural heritage of Ghana. Most importantly, the policy that aims at leveraging investment, benefits, and privileges, mobilizing remittances, a journey towards a bright and prosperous Africa.
Thank you very much, thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause, and we can even give her a standing ovation. Let's kindly give her a standing ovation. This is the Deputy Finance Minister of the Republic of Namibia who has honored us here, and she's given us a very, very appropriate message. I think the people of Ghana too are very honored to have you here, Your Excellency. And on behalf of us, kindly extend our greetings and our appreciation to the people of the Republic of Namibia. Thank you very much. You may take your seats. Racist German regimes, and that the wrongs must be put right. She spoke about letting the Atlantic return what it has stolen from us, but something sustainable where we will have equitable African economy generated from this. So ladies and gentlemen, please, let's again just appreciate for coming to grace this occasion and share with us this very deep. The first president of the Republic of Namibia, His Excellency Sam Nujoma, I read in a book, and Kawunda was part of those student leaders in Jomo Kenyatta. And Sam Nujoma wrote that the day that he saw Kwame Nkrumah speaking on this platform about Africans needing to unite, he left the UK, went back to Namibia, and that's when the Southwest African People's organization, SWAPO, was formed. And so we're very, very inspired that you've come to grace this occasion. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We appreciate your presence here.
Particular experience on coming home, that coming from the diaspora, I couldn't let this happen. We couldn't let them be deported. We had to rise to the occasion, rush to the airport, block the deportation.
This legacy extends beyond his presidency as he continues to be the vocal advocate for democracy, human rights, and sustainable development. We acknowledge the significant impact he has made to Ghana's development. His return to reign of power is a testament of his enduring popularity and ability to inspire and mobilize the Ghanaian people, celebrating a remarkable event in history. Kindly permit me to say a word in honor of our President-elect, who will forever be remembered as one of Africa's most iconic leaders. For those who may not be familiar with his remarkable journey, this is a man who served the nation with his life. Right from being elected as a member of parliament, he went on to serve as Deputy Minister of Communication and later became the substantive Communication Minister. His rise to prominence continued as he served as the Vice President of Ghana and subsequently elected as the President. His leadership has been marked by significant achievements, including the implementation of various infrastructural projects. This legacy extends beyond his presidency as he continues to be the vocal advocate for democracy, human rights, and sustainable development. We acknowledge the significant impact he has made to Ghana's development. His return to reign of power is a testament of his enduring popularity and ability to inspire and mobilize the Ghanaian people. We recognize that Posterity and history will indeed be kind to him. At the Ministry of the Future, we are privileged to have knowledge of his excellent leadership, and we celebrate his achievements. Notably, it was under his regime that the project Returnee started, and many among us received our citizenship and integration. America is land and the people who occupy it. Europe is land and the people who occupy it. Asia is land and the people who occupy it. Same with Australia and the people who occupy it. Following this logic, Africa is land and the people who occupy it. Oh? Yes. So the question is, why is some jurisdictions and territorial land have more preferred or are more preferred than others? The answer is simple: development. The truth is gleaned from the book of Genesis, where God instructed Adam to till the earth, that's the land, and keep it. Unfortunately, and anytime I get to this point, I say it with a bleeding heart, that Africa, among the community of the continent, is often regarded as the least preferred, to the point where it has been labeled, or our dear continent has been labeled, the third world. Can you imagine this? But I dare to say that Africa is a preserved continent whose infrastructure and development have been kept for the last and the best. This preserved continent can and only must be developed by the people of the land. I've said this already. This is called for action for all Africans. Africans at home, Africans at the diaspora, all my brothers and sisters who are gathered here. This is on us. It is this background that inspired a collaboration between the Ministry of the Future and Sudan Land Bank. Africans in the diaspora, Africans at home, and Africans everywhere are responsible for the development of our motherland. Sudan Land Bank identifies with the Ministry of the Future and its leadership, from Dr. Mulana to every member of this prophetic enterprise. This ministry, led by Dr. Mulana, is a prophetic enterprise, validated in Exodus chapter 9, verse 13, which states, "And the Lord said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus says the Lord God of the Hebrews," that's Africans, "Let my people go, that they may serve me." The future of Africa in the diaspora, in all its form, is a mandate echoed in Exodus and reflected in the Year of Return initiative. Posterity and history will endure of his excellent leadership, and we celebrate his achievements. Notably, it was under his regime that the project Returnee started, and many among us received our citizenship and integration. And there was light. Today, December 28, 2024, we stand at the threshold of a new era. It is now evident that development of all nations begins with land, jurisdiction, and territory. America is land and the people who occupy it. Europe is land and the people who occupy it. Asia is land and the people who is the facilities around, and then we build something that will suit the place. But it is well organized, where you know that you are in residential area, the next house is not a...
Just to make another submission here, Sudan Land Bank was talking about, you can see, the paramountcy, chieftaincy in that particular region of Ghana has set aside 500,000 acres of land. 500,000 acres of land that's been set aside for the Africans in the diaspora to settle, to do housing, business, or even agriculture. So I would like to put it on the screen if they can get it up right now so you can see what we're talking about. And this, we are going up to Kintampo on the 16th of January. And I'm extending an invitation to those of you who are in the audience, we have arranged hotellery, transport in and out, 4 days in full price for the Africans of the Sea. Paramountcy means the elders and chieftains. Scamming, land scamming, and available not necessarily in plots. There who are leaving the West in coming. There are going to be literally tens of thousands that are going to be coming into Africa. You know, let's go to an area.
Namibia, our Pan-African siblings from Togo, Professor Molana and the organizers of this program, participants, all protocols observed. The Afro-Continental Union Council having presence in North America. Afro-descendants must come forth to say Rwanda, DRC, conflict, stop, integrate as a federal government. Afro-descendants must serve as shield, protection on what is happening in the Sahel. What is happening in the Sahel? Why can't they come and be exploiting us and say we are the poorest in the world? And you are taking all our minerals away. And when we say we want to take it back, you are finding ways and means to kill leadership. Our people need that protection, critical mass protection. And the Afro-descendants must provide that. Brothers and sisters, I think this journey has started. And I know that with that commitment and consciousness, the integration will be pure. The return will reflect and manifest in various sectors of production. And you have that feeling and that care for your neighbor. Because your coming is not to exploit, but you've discovered your way back home. It wasn't your fault. Now, in this season, the doors are open. Garvey, Marcus Mosiah Garvey's spirit is with us. Du Bois was buried in Ghana. The ashes of Padma, the remains of Padma, and some parts of Africa. And we shall continue to collaborate with Professor Malana, Ministry of the Future. And I'm very happy that the former director of Pan-African Center of Namibia is here with us. She's a very powerful woman. And I was even, she has even motivated me to talk the way I'm talking because of what she said. And she's my good sister. Aluta! Continue. Aluta! Aluta! Just like we overthrew slavery, the same way Africa will unite. Thank you.
Pull for your coon. Pull for your coon. Pull for your coon. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I'll give you the mic in just a moment. We got to get down to business. Every event that we take part in, it does not come through a process of osmosis. You know, it comes through people planning, sacrificing, spending their last dimes. So I would like right now for us to take a dose.
Say the first.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I would love to acknowledge this beautiful, great office. God being so good, I actually got my voice back today. It's been gone for about a week. So I give thanks for that. Standing on all protocols observed, I definitely want to say Nananum. Also, I want to greet everyone at the high table. I want to thank the Ministry of the Future, Dr. Malana, for this invitation. Because of them, I start former presidents here from the African American Association of Ghana. And again, this is an organization that has been around for more than 3 decades. I want to acknowledge Mama Erna, Mama Majua, I think Jerome, Baba Jerome was seated here earlier, Chief Nomo, Auntie Natalie, LeBlue, Burma, Deborah Smile Lady was here. And also, I saw G's. Where's G's? Okay, G's is over there. Burma, if I didn't say your name. Also want to recognize my sister from my mama and my daddy. Say hi, stand up. She hasn't been to Ghana in over 8 years. It's been a minute. So she's not me, if y'all see her. She's Mika. And also my other sister from Jamaica. Where's Kamisha? Kamisha from St. Mary Highgate, Clonmel. That's my sister from another father. So thank you, all of you, for being here. And there's something before I start I want to say, and I need for you to repeat it. And it's in line with everything that has been said here today. And that is my mantra for the future. My mantra for 2025, stepping into 2025, is that our unity is non-negotiable. Repeat after me. Our unity is non-negotiable. I need for you to say it with a little bit of passion. Our unity is non-negotiable. And then there's a few of you like y'all on the fence, but I need for you to reach down and say this, because this is bigger than any one of us here. Some use the word spiritual, and I also agree, but it's definitely bigger than one individual, and it's bigger than one organization. Our unity is non-negotiable. Thank you. A daughter of the Ministry of the Future, and I consider myself a child of Dr. Malana and Honorable Ambassador Miss Millie. And believe it or not, my journey started with just filling out that application. When Dr. Malana said, fill out the application, I elbowed Millie sitting next to me. And I said, I remember this. That's how my journey started. Simply filling out an application. There was many non-believers that were sitting right next to me at the table. And unfortunately, some of them still don't have their citizenship today, yet they had the opportunity to have their citizenship. And I think I must have contributed over time no more than 120 CDs at that time. And as I've always told Dr. Malana and Millie, a lot of this movement of Ministry of the Future came out of their personal pockets. And so as I received citizenship, I made a commitment to join and to assist. And I'm happy to say, with the help of Ms. Brenda Powell, who's the Secretary of the Diaspora Coalition, I worked with her. And so Dr. Malana got us started in 2016. And again, it was fill out this application. So, your selflessness. And I'm here with Nana. I apologize for not knowing your title. It won't happen again. But I know that you were instrumental also in some of the legislative advocacy work that went on with getting the 2016 batch in. So I also want to acknowledge you were also there. And you couldn't have done it without Mama, so I acknowledge the entire family and our Baba that recently transitioned. So respect going out to the entire family. So on that note, much of what I wanted to say have been already said. I am the president-elect for the African American Association, and I've been an executive board member for more than 24 months, where I serve with our president, Diallo Sumbri. And we have done a lot of work in trying to create an image of African Americans in Ghana and the diaspora. 2, to support the integration of African Americans into Ghanaian culture and society. 3, to honor and promote the positive values that evolve from the African American experience in the United States. 4, to practice and encourage transparency and goodwill in all dealings within and outside the African American community, especially as it concerns the business of AAAG and our interactions with other members of the community and Ghana at large. 5, to embrace the ideology of Pan-Africanism, and 6, to educate Ghanaian about African American history. All of what I said, those principles, are aligned with the Ministry of the Future, are aligned with the Diaspora Coalition, and are aligned with many organizations that work for the betterment of diasporans in Ghana and outside of Ghana. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter where you get in. You have to get in somewhere. One of the major problems we have, where people are having unsuccessful journeys and then go to YouTube and create the YouTube experience, is that you come here and you behave as you are on an island by yourself. You come and you isolate yourself and you neglect the wisdom of many of the people that have been here for many years. And in order to create a soft landing, we heard. So if you're here today, that means that you've seen something that resonates with you, with Ministry of the Future. And though I'm the president-elect for the African American Association of Ghana, I'm still standing here in unison and in support. The first thing I said to Dr. Malana is, okay, with that land. It's technically his land. Most communities, I'll speak for mine, I can take that land, I can sell it. I can sell it to corporations. When they give it to you, it's yours. And they trust that whatever decision you take is for the betterment and the development of the community. But here stands Dr. Malana to say, my intentions are to make it available to the diaspora. And he said something, and I can't echo it enough. Where this land is located, the mindset is very different. The mindset is very different. If you haven't traveled, because most people only come to Cape Coast, Kumasi, and Accra, but when you leave the triangle, one of the things you notice that it's a different feeling. Then he gave us a history lesson. He said, but this is the place we come from. This is the place that our ancestors was captured and then brought and enslaved and then shipped through the Middle Passage. And I heard another history lesson. Honorable Minister said, no, we have genocide in Namibia. That lets us know that we're not alone. So if we don't, our power is in the unity. There's some stories I hear, some bickering. I don't even pay attention to it anymore. If you're not talking us moving forward, I'm not gonna have a discussion with you. I'm not gonna have a discussion with you. It's not gonna be entertaining. Whatever issue you have, go and resolve the issue. Whatever issue you have, go and resolve the issue. He said something, there's work to be done. 524, 230 something. We started off with 34, then we were 160, and then they went back and they added on the other ones.
34, then 232, but 20 more were added by the AAAG that made it 252. But Ministry of the Future submitted 232, and all of them were approved.
Thank you, and outstanding. So I know, brother, you are anxious. My baby sister over there is equally anxious. And there's some people sitting in a room that want citizenship. My question is, when you get citizenship, what you gonna do with it? What work are you planning to do? Because I think we can't have this word citizenship alone. It gotta be like citizenship and service, citizenship and culture. It gotta be citizenship and something. It can't be citizenship and popping bottles. Absolutely not. So as I stand here today as the president-elect, I actually become the president officially of the African American Association on January 25th, our third business meeting. I want to encourage you all to please join an organization. I'm not here just to promote the African American Association of Ghana. I'm actually telling you, Ministry of the Future is my start where I got, where I started to serve first. Right in this room, some of y'all was with me, because I see some familiar places, some familiar faces. That's why I say it feels like a family reunion. But you have to start somewhere. So you shouldn't leave here. And he doesn't know I'm going to say this, but you shouldn't leave here without at least filling out an application, letting somebody know who you are and where you're from, what your interests are, what your skills are, and how you can align and join the diaspora community within Ghana so that we can align ourselves and get to work. There's lots of work to be done. There's a whole community here that's developed. I know there's contractors in here, there's artisans in here, there's people that do marketing in here, we got health professionals in here, we have educators. Communities need all these skills. All these skills. And the other thing I just hope before I go is that we all get to know each other, because it's too often we come into these spaces and we sit and we listen and we don't really commune and we don't really fellowship. So the other thing I want to say is before you leave, at least introduce yourself to 5 people you don't know already. Find out where they are. Because one of the biggest things that I know the African American Association of Ghana will have to handle, and also the Ministry of the Future, is our safety, especially for our women and children. And we're having 1 or 2 issues nationwide across Ghana because sometimes we land and again we're by ourselves. So please make sure you complete an application for Ministry of the Future. And then before I go, I wanted to just extend a few a few remarks regarding the congratulations of our current president-elect, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Dear Mr. President-elect, on behalf of the African American Association of Ghana and the entire diaspora community, we extend our heartfelt congratulations on your historic victory in the recent president elections. Your overwhelming mandate from the Ghanaian people speaks volumes about their trust in your leadership and vision for the nation. As the oldest diaspora organization of Ghana, with over 3 decades of presence in this great nation, we have witnessed firsthand your commitment to strengthening the bonds between Ghana and its global African family. We particularly cherish and will never forget your groundbreaking decision in 2016 to grant citizenship in collaboration with Dr. Malana to 34 members of the diaspora community, a profound gesture that transformed abstract Pan-African ideas into concrete reality. Your previous administration demonstrated a deep understanding of the historical significance of the relationship between Ghana and its returning sons and daughters. This understanding was not merely symbolic, but was expressed through tangible actions that made us feel truly welcome home. As we look forward to your upcoming term, we acknowledge that Ministry of the Future is an organization that can speak for us. It is an organization that you will see unity. We stand ready to support your administration and contribute our expertise, our resources, and networks to Ghana's development. Our commitment to Ghana remains unwavering, and we are excited about the prospects of working more closely with your government to strengthen the ties between Ghana and the global African family. May your leadership bring continued prosperity to Ghana and deepen the bonds of Pan-African unity. Madasipa, President Nana Akosua McGee of the African American Association of Ghana. Thank you.
Okay, so at this point we have a citation that Dr. Maulana and the Ministry of the Future, together with the United Sisters Support, would like to present to His Excellency the President-elect John Dramani Mahama. So kindly, if Mama Anna can come and help us do this. We have United Sisters Support and then Dr. Maulana, and we'll call on Dr. Ben Aziginate to come and receive this on behalf of His Excellency, and to confer and let him know exactly what we think and appreciate of the efforts that he's done. And so this is the citation, and I'll read the citation. So the citation says, on behalf of African Diaspora Community, citation in honor of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. We recognize and celebrate your selflessness, passion, zeal, and commitment for the repatriation and growth of the African diaspora community in Ghana, particularly the African descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. For we, as members of the Ministry of the Future and the African diasporas in Ghana, your exemplary style of leadership, drive, and mentorship, with the immeasurable support towards the African descendants of the transatlantic slave trade and humanity, is very admirable. President Mahama, your zealous character, like Moses, helped us cross the Red Sea of the Americas and the Caribbean to repatriate to Africa and Ghana. Granting 34 of us Ghanaian citizenship in 2016 has given birth to the year of return 2019 and beyond the return. We are extremely and profoundly grateful to you, Amen Ra, for your life for all these years as we share in your experience and time. You are a genuine prophet of God, a good human being, a good leader who gives serviceable to the growth of humanity. On behalf of the diaspora community in Ghana, we say, Aiko, well done. And I'd like to call up Dr. Maulana to help Mama Anna to present it, and I'm sure Dr. Ben will pass it on to His Excellency and let us know exactly how much we appreciate his efforts. Doc, maybe you just want to say a word.
Well, thank you very much, and I'll ensure that this gets to his office. And like Professor Maulana said, he would have wished to be here when the information was sent. They said it was unfortunate that due to the circumstances, as we all are in now in the country, it will be very difficult for him to be with us, but he would have wished. But indeed, he's here in spirit with us. Thank you.
I think that one of the things that, first of all, I'd like to also thank Dr. Maulana as well. And one of the things that we want the President to understand is that we really, truly appreciate. I was among those 34 who were given the first citizenship. And so we want him to understand that we really, really appreciate all that he's done. And Dr. Paloma, I don't know how you feel about what I'm about to say, but would you please explain to him that there were just 524 that were just given recently, and we would like for him to get 1,048. 1,048. That's double up. And we know that he can do it. And do it from his heart. Yes. All right. Thank you.
I would like, thank you very much. I would like to just veer off a little bit off the subject matter and to say that all of this that has culminated into being successful for us, it could not have happened unless all of the components that were put in place to help us to get from where we were before to where we are. And so on that note, I would like to call Doc Campbell to come up, because we did use his office as our meeting place to get going, and we never could have done without that. And I'd like to his mom to come up as well. Mom, say something to the audience. They have mommy to say something. So Doc played a major role during the period that we didn't know whether the president was going to sign for us to get citizenship or not. But we continue to have the ongoing seminars and symposium in his office. So Doc, here.
Right. Ago. 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 In Donami, the Mamwaha. I greet you for the afternoon. When Dr. Maulana saw me, he said he wanted me to come and say something, so I'd like to toot Dr. Maulana's horn. Oftentimes he gets accused of tooting his own horn, but today I'm taking that role from him. I'll toot his horn for him. And they say, and chinin kamfun horn se mede, that salt doesn't praise itself, that I'm delicious, but today he doesn't have to praise himself. I want to just very briefly, but as thoroughly as possible for those who don't know, go into the role of Dr. Hamid Maulana in us getting our citizenship. So back in 2015, at the Institute of African Studies, we hosted a group, Dr. Beverly Booker, and we were speaking about Black Lives Matter and things along those lines. People were familiar at that time, Mike Brown, a lot of the atrocities were coming to light. So we hosted a group at African Studies in the Senior Common Room. And then on Founders Day, that was September 21st, we had the Founders Day program up at Commonwealth Hall. And the idea came up of, why do we have to wait for an entire year before we can discuss our issues? And we said, we don't have to wait an entire year. My office, Institute of African Studies, we can host monthly meetings. And that's what we did the last Sunday of every month. I actually started pulling up the emails from that time, just for the sake of nostalgia, that we sent. I won't read those out line for line. But, essentially that's what we did. We met monthly. We had one where Dr. Maulana was a resource person, I was a resource person, Mr. Kwesi Pratt was a resource person, and so forth and so on. And those continued every month, and it was clear that it was sent to the director, it was sent to the senior assistant registrar, that these were monthly meetings. Now, in April of 2016, Hamid Maulana called his good friend, who was the executive secretary to the president of Ghana, that's His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who's coming again. That was Honorable Ni Kwesi Kwate. His personal friend happened to be the executive secretary to the president, and both the president and the executive secretary, they knew of Dr. Maulana through his work at the Du Bois Center. They saw him online, TV Africa, and all the work that he's been doing in the community, in the trenches over the years. So when the executive secretary came, the idea came that, we contribute a lot to Ghana. As diasporans, we contribute a lot, but we don't have very much to show. In the sense, let's say I build $1 million factory, but because I'm not a citizen, my visa has expired, you gotta go back. Imagine that no matter what I do, I don't have roots here, I don't have wings here, and at the drop of a dime, they can tell you, bye-bye, you have to go back. You understand? A lot of people were, underground, like they hadn't had their visa renewed in 10 years. Let me not mention any names. But essentially, that was the breakthrough meeting. So in April, we had that meeting, and several of the people, I see several people who were there at that meeting, and that really sparked off what ended up being the citizenship. So we convened another extraordinary meeting at the old site of African Studies, and all of the organizations were invited. Ghana Caribbean Association, African American Association of Ghana, Rastafari Council, just every organization that you can imagine, Hebrew Israelites, everyone was invited to this meeting. And at the meeting, it was very interesting because some people were like, we've been trying this since the 90s, it's never going to work. They looked at the form and said, oh, this is never going to work. But other people said, what can it hurt? Let's try. Some people actually walked out of the room just, adamant that this is never going to work. Now, we have the Diaspora Affairs Office of the President. At that time, my teeny tiny broom closet of an office was Diaspora Affairs because all the forms were handed in to me. I vetted them, I listed them, I had the spreadsheet, I had everything. I'm glad to know that what I was doing was enough to be an entire department. I didn't get government money, I didn't get the pay, but I did the work. But I passed along those forms to Dr. Maulana. He passed them on to the executive secretary, and those were the people who got their citizenship in 2016. So I always say that anytime I give an interview, anytime anyone asks me about citizenship, I always say that if not for Dr. Maulana, none of us. So even if people say, oh well, I got it through this organization or that organization, without Dr. Maulana, none of us would have gotten citizenship through any organization whatsoever. So if we can give him a round of applause. So December 28th marks the anniversary of us getting our citizenship in 2016. December 28th is also today the 1-year anniversary of my father passing on last year. Thank you. So before I close, if we can just do a brief moment of silence for my father. This was a day of very much happiness. It's also been a day of very much sorrow for us. So I'll just pause briefly if we can just do a moment of silence for Nana Kamal Rashidi Kamba. Thank you very much. And again, I just want everyone to know that Dr. Maulana, there was one thing that he said that I found to be very inspiring. He said he had gotten his citizenship before 2016, I think 2013 or so. And one thing he says is that my citizenship is meaningless unless it's tied up with the citizenship of all of my brothers and sisters of the diaspora. And ever since that time, both he, myself, we've been advocating through the diaspora engagement policy. When we first got that policy, we were invited to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. There was nothing about citizenship in that policy. It just said you can come for Emancipation Day and manifest to get in touch with your roots and then go back. But through the advocacy, myself, I know Brother Yawa Chia, we often went to the Center for Migration Studies, and we would tell them, when in the diaspora engagement policy, it just said African Americans. We said, well, what about people who are in Jamaica? What about people who are in Brazil? What about people who are in Cuba? You have to change the language, and eventually they did change the language to the historic diaspora. They did insert citizenship. They invited us to Jubilee House, and I just went to the section. I said, if there's not a section on citizenship, there's about to be a riot in here. But it was in there, and the next step is to open not just the doors, but the floodgates, but as Dr. Maulana said, to get it enshrined in the Constitution. So it's not on the whim of a kind-hearted president, but people can know every December 28th, this is what happens. It's just like Founders Day. It's just like Independence Day, that this is diaspora.
At the University of Ghana Institute of African Studies, and that was Dr. Gambon's office. So let's give him another round of applause.
Yes, no.
So bear with me, this is a hard day for me, but a joyous day too, because I know he is here with me. It was in 1972 that I made my pilgrimage to Ghana for the first time. In 1998, I started the Sankofa journey, where I brought my son for the first time. He fell in love. In fact, we couldn't get him away from the water down at Cape Coast. He then did a study abroad. He went to Morehouse College, did a study abroad, and came here for a year. It was that decision that, and incident in Chicago that happened that said, "No more America." And so I am grateful to have birthed this young man who is indeed an African warrior. We're using the collective. And he will not stop at any cost. People have tried to get him to change his language on TV, etc. At any cost is for a Bibi Fahodie, African liberation. And I thank you.
Mind you, the doc here speaks fluently Tree, Yoruba, and Wolof.
I teach classes.
As an African American, I don't know how you can do it.
African anti-American. But yes, I teach Chi to Ghanaians at the University of Ghana. That's what I do for a living as a professor at the university.
Yes, he teaches at the university level.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Maulana. And you know, I have received on Dr. Maulana's behalf last year at the first ABB Bitumi Black Power Conference, where Dr. Maulana was given an award for this very work that he did, and I was honored to receive the citation on his behalf. So, Dr. Maulana, we hold you dearly. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to all of you. I would like to call upon Madame Millie Tucker, and she is the head of the State of the African Diaspora, SOAD, State of the African Diaspora, and she'll give us...
Table. They didn't collect money, we didn't ask for a dime, and Nana Kusla came, she said, y'all need to get some money, what y'all doing? And we were taking the trotro. There was no Uber, there was no bolts. Dr. Maulana literally had holes in his shoes. And we were working because we love our people. And I was just glad to be in the motherland. So I'm here on behalf of my organization, the State of the African Diaspora. And you may say, who is the State of the African Diaspora? We are. The State of the African Diaspora encumbers 350 million people. We are the third country in the world after China and India, but greater than the United States of America, which is 323 million, Indonesia, which is 258 million, and Brazil, 205 million. So we as Black people are 350 million. I often wonder, why are we called the minority? Why were we called the minority? So the State of the African Diaspora came into fruition in 2014. The elected president of the African Union in 2014 gave a mandate to our Prime Minister, Dr. Louis Georges Ten. At that time, he was chairperson of the French Black organization CRAN, to create a structure for the African diaspora. This is the reason why the State of the African Diaspora was born. And it includes all of the diaspora organizations. We're not separate, we are one. And my Vice Prime Minister made Dr. Maulana an honorary citizen. He was the first honorary citizen back in 2014 of the State of the African Diaspora. Our currency is Lumi, and he was giving 50,000 Lumi, and I know he can't wait till he spends it. So we're working on it, Dr. Maulana. We're working on it. On behalf of the Prime Minister and the Governor of the State of the African Diaspora, we're delighted to commemorate and celebrate this historic milestone and honor an extraordinary man whose unwavering dedication and visionary leadership has forever transformed the return of the African diaspora to Africa. It is our privilege in the State of the African Diaspora to pay tribute to Dr. Hamid Maulana, a pioneering historian and an accomplished advocate for unity and identity within the global African family. December 28th marks the anniversary of the first 34 members of the African diaspora attaining Ghanaian membership. A monumental achievement realized through the tireless efforts of Dr. Hamid Malana and the landmark moment that reconnected the diaspora to its ancestral homeland and created a powerful symbol of hope, belonging, and identity. Our Vice Prime Minister, Queen Keturah, stated that Dr. Malana's work has redefined what it means to bridge the past with the future. As an historian and pioneer, he not only illuminated the path of our shared heritage, but also carved a way for future generations to embrace their rightful place within the African family. This achievement reminds us all of the strength found in unity and the profound importance of reclaiming the bonds that tie us to our collective roots. Today, State of the African Diaspora take this moment to make a further recognition of Dr. Hamid Malana as the first honorary recipient of the State of the African Diaspora citizenship. Dr. Malana's groundbreaking accomplishments are recognized not only for their historic significance, but for the legacy they continue to build. Dr. Malana, your unwavering commitment to the cause of Pan-Africanism is an inspiration to us all. Your leadership has given birth to a living legacy, a legacy that continues to empower individuals across the diaspora and across the world. Congratulations, Dr. Malana, on this exceptional milestone. May your work continue to inspire generations to come, and may December 28th forever stand as the day of remembrance, celebration, and progress. Sincerely, Dr. Louis Georges Ten, Prime Minister of the State of the African Diaspora, Vice Prime Minister Queen.
So on behalf of the Ministry of Future and all the stakeholders here, Nime, Name, Nananum, we thank the Almighty Creator and our ancestors for creating such a beautiful day. Long live Ghana, long live Africa, long live Akebulano.